Hi yogis, it's Nicole for Just the Tip Tuesday. So I'm in a little bit different of an environment today, but still has some good tips for you. We're getting into double pigeon pose. So I have just a couple of things. If you have a bolster or a block, then you might want to use those for this posture. And then I just grabbed a couple of like throw pillows and a throw blanket, since that's what I have accessible for me today. And those would work just fine too at home, okay? So double pigeon asks a lot from our hips and our knees. So if you have any knee issues or pain, then I'll give you some modifications on how to do this. And also these props are gonna help us if our hips are feeling super tight to still get into this pose, but maybe not in a way that would hurt us, okay? So, double pigeon pose or fire log legs. First one I'm going to do is I'm going to sit on this throw pillow here. Okay, so this helps get my hips a little bit higher. It's not a really like thick pillow, so a bolster might work a little better for you. And you're going to take your legs so that your shin would be parallel to the top of your mat or to the edge of your mat. And then your other leg would come on top. Okay, so that your foot is over your knee and that your knee is over your foot, okay? So you can see, even though I'm sitting on a prop, there's still a lot of space between my knee and that lower foot. So you can take a bolster or a block and place it right there to help kind of alleviate that gap, okay? You can also just do the pose like this if you like, okay? So this helps kind of bridge that gap between the ankle and the knee, okay? So really important in this posture to keep sitting up tall and straight. And then if you want to get a little deeper into it, if you want to feel more of a stretch through the glutes, you can actually start to lean forward. So for me, I remove the bolster block from underneath my knee and lean forward, because as I lean forward, I close the gap, okay? So that might not be accessible for you, so you might just leave that there and then kind of press down into it. What's nice about having a pillow there is that since it's soft, you can still kind of lean into it and so your top knees go over, okay? So you can stay here for a few rounds of breath. Make sure the tailbone is continuing to reach back. Try to keep those hips grounded on whatever they're sitting on. And then just walk the hands back towards the body, okay? So, like I said, this is can be a lot of stress in the knee joint, so just take it carefully. Now, if you try to stack the legs and you see like that's too much of a stretch for you, then you can also put one leg in front of the other, okay? So now my left shin is in front, and then my right shin is in back, okay? So I'm still able to get this stretch. And then I can just start to walk my hands forward and I can still feel the stretch through my hips, okay? And then you would just switch sides. So the right shin would come in front of the left. You still try to get them in that like fire log shape. So like your front shin is still parallel to the top of the mat, and so is your back one, but you're just not stacking them. So you have a little bit more forgiveness here to lean into it, okay? So that can be how you can use these extra props for a little bit of support. And then I'm going to switch things out here. And I'm just going to come into double pigeon sitting on the ground, okay? So it's the same position, your hips aren't as high, okay? So my right leg's going to go in front, on top, or on the bottom. My left leg comes on top, so my foot is over my knee. And then my knee is over my foot. And then sitting up tall, you can see maybe there's a little bit smaller of a gap here. And then just starting to fold into it. So you can take an easy, gentle fold. Sometimes I rest my hands or my elbows on that top shin just to kind of keep everything grounded and rooted. Sometimes it feels a little better to reach a little further So walking the hands back up. Now you can use a blanket. What's nice about a blanket is that you can fold it in many different levels. So you can slide it underneath that knee and then feel a little bit more supported. So this gives me a lot of cushion here and takes a lot of the stress off of any of my joints. And I'm still able to fold forward into it. And since the blanket is soft, it has a little give, so my knee will lower down just a little bit more. But it feels really cushioned and supported with this blanket. So if you have a blanket or something like that, you might want to try it. You can also use the blanket as a way to create height underneath your hips. So this might be a little bit more sturdy than the pillow that I use, so just sliding it underneath my hips so that my tailbone feels supported as I come into my double pigeon. So you can see that with the height. A lot of times when we sit on a bolster or a block or something, the height of our hips helps open up our knees a little bit more, or at least brings our knees closer to the ground. And this is true also with like a blanket or a pillow or a bolster in this posture as well. So you can see on this side, my knee is lower already because my hips are higher, okay? So don't be afraid to use a little bit of support and assistance in this posture. It's a really deep hip opener. Either it hurts real bad or it hurts so good kind of situation. It just kind of depends on the day. So have a little grace with yourself as you get into this posture today, as you practice this week, and see how your posture progresses through the week, or even through a practice if you visit the posture more than once, because coming to a pose when you're cold can really show you where some of your weaknesses might lie, but then once you get into it and feel a little bit more warmth in the body, you can see that you can find a little bit more depth in the posture. So have fun with this posture. Hope it serves you well this week. See you next week. Bye.